as we await football's return, I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to give you my final outcome out in the Bundesliga. Who's going up and who's going down? Coming at ya next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. This time we've gone to the Bundesliga and we're going to take a little look at who's going to become champions in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Bundesliga related, Blackburn Rovers related, world football related. We go here. Under one Rolfski. Now, before we jump into it, behind me should be the final few games of the Bundesliga, which has given me the mathematique to figure out who's going to be the champion, who's going to the Zweite Bundesliga, and then, of course, that illustrious playoff spot. When I say illustrious, I mean poop playoff spot. Before we get into that, I want a big shout out to the Patreons who have supported the channel even through the dark times of negative football. Aztec Marky B Mark, John Spurn, Daniel Meller, Constable 1976, Mitchell Schoen, Tom Clark, Tom Beresford, Cody Cahoe, Russell Frost, Noko Drinker. That's the boys. Big shout out to them for supporting the channel. They are the VIP 10. If you want to make it a VIP 11, get it stuck into the old description down there. There is a link to the Patreon channel, patreon.com/Roverseas, for the price of a couple of instant coffee, not the Starbucks stuff, but the instant coffee, and you become a patron just like them boys. So we're going to jump into it, folks, and take a little look. Vortex, that is the old prediction zone. On the right hand side is the current standings out in the Bundesliga. On the left is where I think the boys are going to end up. So we're going to start with the bottom club, and that is Paderborn. It's been a refreshing change to see them in this division once again, but they're going to be back down to the Zweite Bundesliga again, unfortunately. There's just too much to make up for them, and I just think they'll struggle, which is a shame, because when they came up with Union Berlin, I actually fancied Paderborn to do a little bit better than Union Berlin, but yeah, we'll see how the Berlin boys do in a second. But Paderborn, unfortunately, we'll see you maybe in a couple of years. Next up, we have Werder Bremen. Now, this is the longest standing Bundesliga club in the division, I believe. Something along those lines. So it's going to be sad times at the end of the season, because I don't see much improvement. This break has probably come at a right time for them. To obviously, nobody wants this break. We could be wrapping up the season by now if things had been on track. But this break could work out for Werder Bremen. I just don't think so. I think the mental thing is sunk in, and they're already planning for next season in the Zweite Bundesliga, which is, this club has produced some quality talent. I think, wasn't Ozil came through these ranks? I think maybe some other really good strikers in the past few years. So it's an absolute tragedy to see such a club. It's like seeing Rovers go down from the Premier League. So it's tragic. Hopefully they'll be back in the first attempt and start again fresh. So who will be the reasonably happy team in 16th spot? Well, currently that honour goes to Fortuna Düsseldorf, and I don't see much change in that regard. So they'll just keep their head above water for the time being and duke it out with a Zweite Bundesliga side to see if they can get themselves back another season in the top flight in Germany. So they'll have a little bit of a patient wait. I'm pretty sure of it. Into 15th spot, the happiest team in the division will be FSV Mainz. That's right, they're going to hang in there. Don't see that much change in their position over the next few games, so they'll stick around, much to their delight and much to the dismay of the likes of Paderborn, Werder Bremen and Fortuna Düsseldorf. So into 14th we have AFC Augsburg, and again I don't see them going anywhere new. They are staying as they are. So yes, nervy times ahead, but you know what, I think they'll be content with that. I think every season they're in the Bundesliga they're going to be happy with that, because every season I write them off. I think they're going to go down. I think Dusseldorf, Mainz and Augsburg, they are treading water, and there are some bigger clubs waiting to get back into the Bundesliga. So yeah, so as long as they can chip away at it, I'm sure they'll be happy with it. Next up, into the unlucky for some, Hertha Berlin. They'll do as you were, really. Obviously, Klinsmann came and went, wasn't happy with what was going on, but he'll be happy in the background somewhere to see them survive. Yeah, what more can I say about Hertha Berlin? They are a decent side, and they do deserve to be in the Bundesliga. But yeah, they're had a rough ride, and I think this break has probably come at the wrong time for them, because they were getting the results in, a nice couple of results going their way to keep them in good shape. At the 12th spot, we have Eintracht Frankfurt. I expect them to make a bit of progress into the top 10 as we draw to the close of the season, whenever that might be. Obviously, they're in the Europa competition as well. Obviously, all these dates and stuff have got to be figured out, and mathematically planned. So you know what, I do expect them to get stronger as the season comes by. And again, this break is a good opportunity then for them to get the players back into tip-top shape and battling for Europa sort of honours. But they won't get that far unless they have something crazy going on in the Europa League themselves. So top 10 finish for Eintracht Frankfurt. They'll be okay with that, I think. Next up we have Union Berlin. Now Union Berlin are currently in 11th. I think that's where they're going to end up. They'll be over the moon with that. I'm over the moon with that. And it's been enjoyable to see them duke it out in this division. Get some really surprising results along the way. Can they maintain it? Can they do that again next season? Will they have a second season syndrome? Who knows? But they're thereabouts at the moment. So fair play to them. Into number 10th spot, another team that's done absolutely bits. I think they're actually going to get stronger as the season comes along. And again, this probably come at the wrong time for them. But I do see them rising a couple spots, and they'll be a little bit hard done by. They're going to be 8th at the end of the season. Goodness me. A surprise. FC Köln battling for Europa League spots on the return to the Bundesliga. Into the 9th spot, we have Hoffenheim. And again, I expect a little bit of a rise from them this break. Again, nobody wanted this break, but Hoffenheim were in the press for the wrong reasons. Their owner was getting a lot of flack from rival fans and all that kind of good stuff. It was causing kind of problems, and the results were not going their way. But I do think that normality will resume, and I think Hoffenheim will start to turn the screw and get themselves back into tip-top shape. I don't expect Champions League football, but I expect them to get into the Europa League spots up to 6th in the table, so that's a great rise from 9th. But we have a couple of hot spots now. Who's going to fall? There's a couple of teams that are going to drop, like Stone, Freiburg being one of them. They're currently 8th. Obviously, they start the season in tremendous form in the Champions League spots for a good portion of the season, but I think the wheels are going to completely come off, and they're going to end up in 12th spot. Again, they're a team like Augsburg, Mainz, Dusseldorf that should be happy just to be in this division. You know what? I'm not going to, it might be a bit harsh to say, but they're not a powerhouse, and it's been a long time since they were a powerhouse as well. So they'll be content with a Bundesliga finish wherever it may be, even if it's 15th. I'm sure they'll be elated. A little bit disappointed, obviously, to start the season so well, to fall so dramatically as well. Into 7th spot, we have Wolfsburg. I see them dropping as well, a couple of spots to 9th, which is unfortunate. Again, they are in the Europa League, and they've got to figure all that out as well, just like Frankfurt and also Hoffenheim, at least. No, they were Champions League, weren't they? So, yeah, Wolfsburg. 9th spot. I think they'll fall off the wayside a little bit, which is a shame. They're a decent side, and they've got some really talented players. But top 8, top 9, and I think they might squeeze above FC Köln. You know what I mean? It's in their making to they've got it in their locker to do it. Another team that's had a better season than last is Schalke. Obviously, Wagner's boys currently find themselves 6th. I think they're just going to fall short of the Europa League spots, which is a shame. Again, got some really good players. They did lose Götze, or what's his name? Not Götze. They lost Goretzka. That's it, to Bayern last season. But they've still got quality players. They've lost Breel and Bolo. They've got some really quality midfielders and defenders as well. So they'll be. I think they'll be content, definitely with the improvement that they made over the past 12 months with Wagner in charge. Into the top 5 we go, and I think it's pretty much the same 5 clubs that are currently in there, but just who will end up in those top 4 spots, which is the Champions League. Into 5 spots, 5th spot, we have Bayer Leverkusen, and I see them just falling short, which will be 5th spot. So the likes of Mönchengladbach, who else do we have? Red Bull Leipzig, Dortmund and Bayern will be in that top 4, but who will be number 1? We'll have a look in a minute. But Bayer Leverkusen has got some really exciting young prospects. Leon Bailey is in there. Who else is the guy everybody likes? Kai Havertz, that's the player everybody likes and everybody wants him to be at his club. So yeah, really good prospect for the future, but unfortunately they're going to have to do Europa League next season. They did have a Champions League this season, but you never know, they might pull it out of the bag, but I think it's going to be tight. It's going to be between them and of course Borussia Mönchengladbach, who are in 4th. Mönchengladbach had Europa League football this season, and I am obviously a supporter of Mönchengladbach, so I'm a little bit biased, but I do think their results coming their way, or the fixtures coming their way, are very favourable, and I do see them going in favour of Mönchengladbach, so I do see them hanging into 4th spot. But who's going to be number 3, 2, and who's going to be number 1? Is it going to be as you were? I think it could be, but let's take a look at it. So into 3rd spot it is RB Leipzig. They currently find themselves in 3rd. They're going to end up 3rd. Timo Werner, is this his final season? Will he go to the likes of Borussia? Will he go to Bayern? Will he go to Liverpool? Will he go to Manchester United? All the clubs are after him. I think if they were to win the title, then he might stick around for another season, but I think his time has come at the end of this to move on to better things. Well, not better things, bigger things. And then into second spot, obviously, Jadon Sancho, Haaland and co. That is Dortmund. They currently find themselves second. They've actually turned a corner as well, massively. Since January, they were more like 5th, 6th, but they've the results have started to go in their way, and they're scoring goals for fun. But unfortunately, it's not going to be good enough. They're going to fall short. They're going to be second in the table to leave it wide open for Bayern to retain the championship once again. Of course, their manager is a caretaker, taking over from, who was it? Was it Ancelotti? At the start of the season. Still question marks remain as to who's going to be in charge for Bayern next season. Will the caretaker get it again? Because he's doing a fantastic job in the Bundesliga and also, of course, in the Champions League as well. Still knocking on door for multiple competitions. So that is as it is, folks, in the Bundesliga. Not much change. Maybe a little bit of a change in the middle of the park there from 6th maybe to 10th. A few rises and surprises. But that, my friends, is what I've got for you. Hopefully you agree. Or if you don't, get me your opinions in your comment section down below. Be sure to give this video some loving though. Smash the old thumbs up and of course smash the subscribe if you're new. Got new videos every single day on the channel, whether it is league predictions, whether it's tier lists, whether it's badges. We got it all here while we wait out for the return of football. Again, folks, be sure to check out the description. Links to my other social media platforms are in there: Twitter, Facebook, and of course Patreon. And if you want to become a Patreon, now's the perfect time to do it for the price of a cup of coffee. Instant, of course. You can join the illustrious VIP exclusive gang of Patreons. It's patreon.com/roverseas if you just want to type it in and get in there yourselves. Anyway, folks, that's all I've got for you. Until I see you all again for tomorrow, we'll do another league. We'll take a look at maybe Spain or even Italy. Until then, I'm going to get out of here. Smash the thumbs up, smash the subscribe. Ciao for now. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.